Hi, it's Splinterverse. Welcome to another edition of Frostring Friday. Today we are going to be looking at a deck called Empress's Menagerie. It's one I found back in the day on TCG Browser, so unfortunately I don't know who created it because TCG Browser is no more. So I'm going to give you a deck tech here going through the deck, so if you're not interested in that and you want to get straight to the matches, check out the timestamp in the description to skip straight to those. Alright, so it starts with the champion Puff the Rainbow, who has a basic ability of 1 Sapphire Threshold, 5 charges to revert and transform target troop you control into a Merry Butterfly, which is pretty cool looking 4/4 flyer that reverts at the start of your turn. So we'll talk about why this is cool and how this comes into play, mostly in the matches, but we'll talk about it in the deck tech a little bit too. Alright, so in terms of what's in the deck, you're going to see that there's a playset of every card we picked, except for the resources. So the resources, we've got 14 Sapphire Shards, 3 Scrios Coins, 3 Sapphire Ices, 4 Spectral Acorns. Alright, you see that in almost every deck these days. That's just to enable draw. You know, we only have 20 resources. We're going to need potentially 5 Sapphire, so and definitely we need 3 for guys like this. So this will help you dig through the deck, get to those cards. Alright, so Spectral Acorn just gives us a free card draw. We never use it for the tap ability here, or the exhaust ability. So first we have Swiftpaw Trickster. It's a quick troop for 0, but you gotta have 3 of the threshold here. It's a PvE only card. Unblockable, and when you deploy, you interrupt target action. But with this equipment we have on Chest of the Oni Order, we put that card into our hand and it loses all thresholds. And with the other equipment, it's any target card instead of target action. So basically, we interrupt any card and we put it into our hand and it loses all thresholds. Even without the interrupt and steal, this is a powerful card because it's unblockable. So very cool. Mostly using it to interrupt though in this deck. Then you have Frostmare, another PvE only card, and it's got a 2 threshold and 5 cost, so that's why we got to get to 5 out of our 20. You know, once we get this in our hand. When you deploy it, cards in opposing hands get cost +5, which is really cool because in this format, you know, you're just drawing 1 card per turn. So that means basically every card that happens to be in that opposing champion's hand at the time you cast this is going to go up by 5, and then if you play another one, it's going to go up another 5, right? So you may have taken a 2-drop, turned it into a 7, played another one, now it's a 12. It's a pretty expensive 2-drop. And then when it dies, you revert all cards in opposing hands, so you kind of want to keep it alive once you get it out there. Moving on down here to Morphology. You've seen this in a past deck we played, I think. It's a PvE only card. Quick action. Put target card into its controller's hand, then transform that card into a random action of the same shard. So you can take some really annoying troop, constant, whatever it is that's on the board, and get it out of there. But then the beauty is with this, you get this extra special thing on the Mighty Morphing Glove here. At the end of your turn, if this is in your hand, each opposing champion draws a card. And so in Frostring, you're playing against AI, and the AI do not pay attention to this additional text. So a lot of times they get an action that they don't know what to do with, and they will just keep it in their hand. So every turn you're drawing 2 cards instead of 1. So you definitely want to play this sooner rather than later just to start that card draw. Alright, another PvE only card. A lot of PvE only cards in this deck, and I'm not talking about how many of each of these because every one of them is a full playset, so 4. Alright, so Piranha Swarm. It's a quick troop. Costs 4. 2 threshold again. It's defensive. When it deals damage, sacrifice it, then summon 4 Ravenous Piranhas, which are these. Rage 1, must attack, 1/1s. But we have equipment on this guy, both pieces. So the 100 Teeth, when it deals damage, sacrifice it, then summon the 6 Ravenous Piranhas. This is kind of our win condition, is these Ravenous Piranhas, but there's more to it. So let's look at the other piece of gear. When an opposing troop is dealt damage, if this is in your deck or hand, there's a 10% chance to put this into play. That's huge. So, you know, all you need is some combat between troops on both sides, and you got basically a 40% chance one of these guys is going to show up on the board, because unless it's in your crypt. Because if it's in your deck or your hand, each one is going to have a 10% chance. So it's not really a 40% chance, but you got 4 10% chances if you want to look at it that way. And in testing, preparing for this, almost every time one of them would show up, sometimes 2. Then you've got Phoenix Guard Messenger. It's a little 2-drop flyer. When it leaves play, draw a card. So again, you just jump with this, draw a card. Just get to the good stuff with this. It's kind of like the Spectral Acorn. Arcane Focus. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand, put the remaining card into your deck. So you may need to use this to get that 4th, 5th resource. You may need to use this to dig for, something, Empress, Morphology, whatever. All right. Then you got your Thundefield Seer with 4 of these. Prophecy, deploy the next action in your deck, gets draw a card. So that could be Arcane Focus. That could be Morphology. That could be Glyph of Sky. So all of those are good targets to have. Draw a card on them. Empress of Ice. Flight, when you gain Sapphire Threshold, exhaust target opposing card, which is useful. But when you get to 5, opposing cards don't ready during the controller's ready step. So that can be a win condition right there. And it's why this deck is called Empress's Menagerie, because it's all these little animals plus her. And then you've got Glyph of Sky. Target troops gets flight normally, but then we put this on it, the Trinket of Sky, and your Glyphs of Sky instead have each troop you control gets flight. So that's epic, because when you create these piranha, you're going to have a bunch of these. It's like 6 of them. And you make them fly and they have rage. They're just going to start doing massive damage. Okay? So that's huge. And it's also good to make things like your Frostmare fly, because that's 5 in the air. It doesn't even hurt to make your Thunderfield Seer fly, or your Swiftpaw. So even though it's unblockable, it doesn't hurt. Especially if you're going up against a champion that's all about flight. So that's pretty much the deck. I did mention the Merry Butterfly. So the Merry Butterfly, you can turn a Thunderfield Seer into something. You can take one of those little piranha things that get created, turn it into a Merry Butterfly. You can make the Empress of Ice temporarily. If she's not got her full 5 activated, you can turn her into 4/4 so she does more damage. Or since once it's become a Merry Butterfly and then it reverts at the start of the turn, if something has debuffed one of your guys, you can turn it into a Merry Butterfly, and then at the start of your turn get it back to what it was, as opposed to whatever debuff is on it. So lots of options with the Merry Butterfly. So that's the deck. Let's jump into some matches. Alright guys, so we've skipped tier 1. Going into the first of the hard tiers. This deck may struggle against Mill because it's already going to be drawing a lot more than a normal deck does. So if we do come up against Mill, just be prepared for that. Alright, it's nice that we have 4 because we do want to get to a minimum of 3, so I'm going to keep this hand. Even though I don't have anything playable just yet. This is who we're going against. He does things with robots here. Robots you control get +1 for each underworld troop you control this turn. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't want to play that yet. We have no targets. Okay, just looking good. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is not fun because it's going to cause -2/-2 to stuff, but hopefully we can at least block with the next turn. Okay, now we're going to, well, actually I don't know if he'll even attack now that we have this on. But we'll see. We'll go ahead and attack with that. In some ways we want combat to happen to trigger these Piranha Swarms. That down, right? Got us a card though. Just conscripting up a storm over there. Okay, we're gonna let that go, just because we don't want to lose our ability right now. Getting a little bit flooded here. I could have played this, but I didn't because I want to play it when he dies. Which he may not anytime soon, but that's okay. We're getting seriously flooded, but we're going to use these Sapphire resources. And by flooded, I mean resource flooded. We're getting a lot of those. We are at 5, so I'm not going to transform this because now that cannot it cannot ready itself. Yeah, I'm just going to skip attacking. We could transform something, but I'm not gonna. Okay, so this. So now we've created all of these ravenous piranhas. We will do this. We want non-resource, no more flooding. Make him permanently stuck unless he conscripts a troop and takes her out. Put this down. Give everything flight. Turn one of these into a merry butterfly just so it does more damage. Attack with everything except for Empress. And voila, we're getting 2 on all these guys. Down to 12 already. These guys can't ready themselves. Get rid of the butterfly, that's fine. Just deceptively block 2 of these, and the damage that's happening here can trigger another Piranha Swarm to come into play. So, and it's certainly going to make more Ravenous Piranha, so we're fine with that. Nothing to tap down, but we will anyway. Lay him out, even if we don't really need to. Attack with everything, and say goodbye to Dread Technomancer. Smells fishy. Alright, so starting to see how it works here. So Archon of Null Zone, I think he blows up the crypt at the end of each turn. Or the beginning of each turn, something like that. Okay. Creates random socketable troops. Put your crypt into your deck and void all cards in opposing crypts. So we don't really need anything to be functional in our crypt. I'm going to keep this because we have our minimum of 3 that we're going to need to get to things like our little unblockable dude. And our, just 3 resources in general that we're going to need to get to our Empress. So you never, in this deck, you don't care about holding back the Spectral, so feel free to play those. Alright, I'm going to do this because I really want to start that frequent card draw. Go ahead and play this since I'm planning to play a 1-drop here. Alright, we'll get our Empress because we definitely want to get her on deck. I do like to have my cards in casting cost order if possible. Okay, that's good. So I want to get her out here. It's risky because he could have some removal on this 6 cards he has that he has not had a target for until now, but hopefully not. Alright, we need 1 more to start playing our Frostmare. So which of these is more, okay, this one's worse, so I should have exhausted the other one. So here, it's that one would be growing every time it had a resource played. Come on. Wouldn't let me click. Alright. And because we played Morphology, there's a chance at the end of his turn that we'll get an extra card in our hand. We want this combat to happen to trigger this Piranha. Did not, but we got a card out of it. Replaced itself. Now let's see if we get an extra card. He must have played whatever it was, or discarded it. Yeah, it might have been this one. Yeah, he did. Usually they hang on to it, but he liked that card for some reason. So let's tap this guy down. And now we have 5. That means they're not going to be able to get away. Unfortunately, it was 4 temporary and 5 regular. So let's just go ahead and put it down, even though we're going to do this. Not going to transform her because she's keeping them all exhausted. If we transform her, that means they'll be able to ready themselves. We don't want that. But like these guys are great targets for that Merry Butterfly. Probably only going to get to play the Merry Butterfly once per turn because he's not cheap. So let's see, let's do one of those. So see, I turned that one into one. 13. It's okay that he's attacking, because number one, that means he's not going to ready next step, and number two, he's going to cause combat, which might bring our Piranha Swarm out. Yep, see, there you go. Thank you. Alright, so we could have an additional Empress, but like the threats are not that real over there, but we'll go ahead and... He could have a quick action, so we made them cost 5 more. Flyer thing so that we can make everything fly, because at this point we can't even, the ones that can attack cannot hit this because they're in the air. Come on, resource or... Oof, Dark Art, that's no good. Okay, so it doesn't work when you sacrifice this normally, so... I'm gonna have to go with these little guys. This is good. We can block with this. And this. So that even brought us one of those out. So... flyers down. Now we can interrupt something with our little Swiftpaw. So, yeah, let's let all those attack. Let's attack with all flyers, because all the flyers he has are now unable to ready. Let's see what happens. He's dead. Very good. Tormented Locksmith. Gotta get him before he gets his key going. Chaos Key. Puff the Rainbow looks so excited and happy. Alright, so target troop gets unblockable. When a troop you control readies, draw a card. When you play a Chaos Key, you transform into an unlocked aberration, which unblockable when you have more cards in hand than each opposing champion. This has +7/+7. So this isn't really what he transforms into. He, basically, all of his troops become unblockable when he transforms. So we're gonna keep this just because we have the resources we want. Yeah, we're not to 5, but we're able to get a non-resource there. And remember, your Piranha Swarms, we now are going to have definitely reach Frostmare capability, which is nice. Your we want to engage in combat. We don't want to, so we want him to attack and block with this. See, is he's gonna... Right. Dueling Empresses here. Okay, come on. Now, Piranha Swarms can be triggered from your hand or deck. And it did not cause one to come out that turn. That's okay. We can make one come out. Next turn we're going to do Frostmare. He's close to being able to completely make it so we can't ready though. Alright, so that's probably going to be the target, which is good. So we are going to... Yeah, so now we cannot ready if he... Yeah, exhaust us like he's doing here. That's good. We wanted him to do it to that one. So no, you don't. You don't get that. We get that. Thanks. Increase the cost over there. Oh jeez, that's no good. Ruining our plans here. Alright. Even combat with these things we did not create can start to add up here. So we'll get this down. And... I'm a dummy. What does this do? Fortunately, it's not going to work the way we wanted it to. Let's see what we get first. Perfect. This will take care of that. Morphology for the win there. Yeah, no point doing anything else. Target myself. Don't need two of these. But I'd love to have another one of these. Alright, so now let's transform... Yeah, let's get this guy. Start getting some damage into this guy. I'll let that one go. Just want her down so that we have that. Yes. So we have... Okay, no point in transforming that. Alright, so we will... Yep. point. And it's now stuck permanently. The stolen card is now going to be in a situation where it can't ready itself. Yeah, I guess if I'd played these, we would have killed him right now, but I was just trying to prevent things like that. He's now transformed into this. This is really what he does. Okay. Alright, we're just going to go to combat because he's going to die here. Alright, got him. Looked desperate there for a minute, but we turned it around. Alright, so now we're going up against an elite, and then we'll go up against a boss. We'll see how it does against those kind of things. It's a fun, fishy deck. We didn't get to spawn all the ravenous piranhas there, but it's okay, we still won. Right, multiple win conditions is always a good thing to have. Alright, so good starting hand, lots of low cost, reasonably cost things, and 3 to get to our Empress. So we're going to keep that. Let's take a look at our champion. Alright, so we're going to each have a banner. We'll look at what our banners do in a second, but choose one at random. Your orcs in all zone get +3, or search your deck for a troop with Darkspire and its name and put it into your hand. When an orc enters play, triggers death cries. At the start of the game, summon a blood-soaked brawler. Okay, so got this lovely rage thing that can't be blocked by troops smaller. That's going to be fun to deal with. At the start of your turn, draw a card. Troops you control have +1 at speed. That's cool. Although we don't really want to attack directly, we want to let's do this and see if it scares this thing into not attacking. And even if it doesn't, we will kill it and maybe trigger our piranhas to come into play here. We'll just take care of that right now. Trigger piranha, hopefully. Yep. Lovely. It's 10% seems like it shouldn't happen as often as it does, but it's been happening at least in the play that I've had. So we're gonna get that out of here so he's not drawing extra cards, and hopefully it'll cause us to draw extra instead. Aww. Why would you do that to us? We worked so hard to get that Piranha Swarm out there with that little 10%. Alright, we gotta get our Empress out there. Even though cards like kill could kill us. No attacks. Well, hold on, it's a blocker. I'm not going to read all the opponent cards, just pause if you want to know more. So we'll put her down first. They're not going to stay tapped, unfortunately. But yes. Next turn they will. Jeez. Maybe that wasn't the best idea. Okay, unfortunately I think I'm gonna have to block one of these. It's alright, it brought us a Piranha Swarm. Now that thing can't ready itself. You know, another chumper. Guess we're taking a Sapphire Ice. Since nothing can ready itself, let's turn this guy into something that can actually attack. And we'll attack with all of them. And then we'll use our Swift Paws to hopefully stop something. Why not? Let's just stop that. Stop the madness. And we'll do that same thing to you, buddy. So now you're at 0 resources, can't spend any of it. So yeah, we're good. Wish there was a button to just sort by custom costume. Alright, let's just swing for the win here. Alright. Beat an elite with it. Okay. Alright, we get 5 extra health. Princess Quarry, I don't know. We may or may not survive this. Princess Quarry is a little bit crazy. Not a little bit crazy, a lot of it crazy. Because transforming everything you have. So, summon a Shroom Party. At the start of the game, he gains all the resources. At the start of your turn, create a random standard resource, put it into your hand. So, Shroom Party. It's a novel. But basically, it either gets minus costs or it gets transformed into a random card. So you just start getting weird stuff. Now we only have 1 resource. We're going to replace this hand. Ay, ay, ay. Why is it we get screwed like this on the boss? I don't know. Anyway. Thanks for the 5 extra health. Let's see what we do with this before we do anything. Double of what we don't need. Yeah, we're going to say give us a resource because we want to make sure we get all our resources, even though that means we can't play anything for this turn. We can at least play our Arcane Focus next turn. We'll at least get to 3. Take this because I don't need a 3rd Glyph of Sky right now. At least now we know we can get to Piranha Swarm resource levels. Okay, so at least we didn't have anything out that could transform. Again, he's all about transformation, so he can really screw us over here. I'm going to put a random non-resource, hoping we get something playable. It's all about randomness, which is cool. I hope that doesn't get transformed into some random nonsense.
So
good. He's used up all his resources. He has 1 left, I guess. Is good. This guy's good for him, but it's okay, perfect. Let's do this. Now we have targets for our Glyph of the Sky. I guess we shouldn't have turned that into that, because I realized after I did it that I needed to hold him back as a blocker. Oh boy. If he plays a red, we're screwed. Because these are all ones. Lovely, he's going to play all kinds of stuff. Everything gets transformed. Oh, but we kept our flight and our rage, so that worked. I'll go ahead and give him flight as well. Alright, worked out. If we hadn't had the flight and the rage, we would have lost probably. So that's the fishy Empress Menagerie deck. So try it out. I think it's a lot of fun. There's probably some tweaks you could do to it. Let me know in the comments, you know. Tell me things that you would try differently, you know, modifications you'd make, anything you want to share. And please subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon, click the like button. Those things help out a lot. And be sure to stay tuned every Friday for another Frostring Friday. And don't miss our daily Corinth matches as well. Eventually there'll be some Twitch stuff. We'll probably let you guys vote on which Frostring full runs we do. We'll do some Corinth where you guys pick what card I take every turn. So there's going to be some fun Twitch stuff. So maybe go ahead and follow me over there so that you're ready for that. But stay tuned. We got a lot more coming for you. And until next time, happy hexing.